queen.
Coming down the chip shop.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hey. Okay, so I'm Special K, and first of all, I suck at like introductions, and I suck even more at transitions. Plus, I've only been given 20 minutes, so I'm not going to stop in between my pieces. I'm just going to be like, breathe, and then keep going. And hopefully, you'll give me grace for 3 of those minutes. All right. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. But America, I feel thou hast forgotten about me. From slavery to the separation, no. I mean the destruction of the Black family, to the created and portrayed imagery that only people who look like me live in poverty. America, where is this brotherly love one of your original cities boast of? Or is that something only white men in white robes get to dwell in? America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm my soul in self-control, thy liberty in love. But America, I feel like I am the only one flawed, and you have taken it upon yourself to mend them, laying waste to my brethren, their lifeless eyes staring upward toward heaven, the streets soaked in their blood and the pavement still echoing their reverberation. Stop! Hands in the air, don't move, bang, bang, bang. Oops. America, the police have become a vigilante. They have decreed themselves to not only be the lawmen of this country, but also the deciding factor in who gets liberty or death unto thee. America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. But America, your riches have been obtained in all ways unmoral, unethical, and unjust. You have stolen from Africa and every other country along the way until there's practically nothing left. And you have forced those who suffered at the hands of your plundering to bow and call you king. Where is the nobleness in that? And from that day until this one, divine has not been the name of every gain for a people who look like me. Every step forward has been riddled in strife, struggle, oppression, and death. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. But America, you have forgotten the grace bestowed upon your broad shoulders, and your memory seems to fade that when it comes time to admit that without the backs of slaves, you would have never made it here to this great stage. America, when will you open your eyes and stop pretending to be blind to all that which is negative inside of you? America, when will you demand No, America, when will you decree? No, America, when will you issue justice for all of us? Only then shall we truly be free. Only then can we stand in unity on this, our home, sweet homeland. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. America, I want to see my son make it to 21. America, my Black son matters to me. America, when will we matter to thee?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Dear lady, whom I have never met before, your poetry was beautiful. It flowed from your lips exactly how I imagine ink would spill from 100-year-old wells. And it made my heart swell with its forced stops and goes. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, these are all the words I wanted to give, all the things I wanted to say and type on the screen the other day. But your poetry was interrupted again and again, forcing you to stop and go. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, I could see your anger rising, your cheeks becoming more and more rosy, the fire in your eyes putting on such a show that even the dimmest of dim souls would know to batten down the hatches and take cover from the anger that was moments away from erupting within. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, no one blames you for needing to explode. No one needs to be told or given reason or explanation for your immediate retreat. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, was this your first time? I have to admit, I have never been Zoom bombed, so it was most definitely mine. And as I heard him say, inward, 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 again and again, I sat miles away, anchored to my chair. My stomach nosedived far below my toes and then reversed its course and nearly ejected itself from the holes within my nose. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, I wonder if you know how much privilege you showed by announcing to an audience who had all witnessed the same 15 seconds of attempted robbery as you, a desire from some idiot nincompoop to claim their spotlight and fame, that you could not take this and you were going away. All while I sat glued to the chair. Everything within me instantly brooded and grounded in fear. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, have you ever experienced that kind of fear? Dear lady, I want us to be allies. The poetry we both sing to bring us together in nothing but happy endings. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, right now, I feel further away from you than even those words streamed ignorantly together to form incomplete sentences of hate. Inward, 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 does what it always does, somehow able to separate. Dear lady, whom I've never met before, How can we come together when we are on the same team and you don't even know the privilege you exhibit? Dear lady, whom I've never met before, please tell me. I beg of you to explain, how can we regain the ground and reclaim things in the name of love when you are unsure of the gift your whiteness brings? And I can't breathe. Frozen under invisible knees, brought on by the words of this bomber, dear lady, whom I've never met before. Those words, they strangle me. And I know it's not your job to rescue me, but I've nowhere else to go. And it's at your feet where these gasps of pain have landed, dear lady, whom I've never met before. I've nothing more to say. And here is where the problem lays. All my words that should have exploded from shotguns and cannons ablaze have only just landed flat on the page. And in the time that it took for me to gather my thoughts and reassemble my brainwaves, you have gone on about your way with probably no memory of me, powerless to move from the confines of my chair. Dear lady, whom I've never met before.
Wow. Wow, yeah. Wow.
Amazing as always.
As always, yeah.
Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. Harriet Tubman said she would shoot anyone who made a sound or dared to turn around. There is a price to be paid to be free. Now, I don't know who said ignorance is bliss, but I do know this. Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing. Now, that's not to say that I live happily every day under my oppressor's thumb, but only that sometimes the beat of my ancestors' drum goes dim, and I wonder if the rhythm is done. The sound drowned out by the incessant noise of the same old wheel. There is a price to be paid to be free. I wonder, can the spirits of my long dead ancestors feel that the revolution has begun? And yes, there is a price to be paid to be free. And I was never meant to teach Black boys how to become Black men, but I've been forced to learn how because the world I live in has shaken its fist angrily and banged its gavel down, issuing a decree, an unspoken rule that they would tear apart the Black family. And they would do this by creating a pipeline to prison straight from school. This way, they could trap little Black boys just before they turned into Black men. And then they would starve them of the nurturing that can only come from a woman's embrace. And they would condition them to only feel masculine when they were put on display or kept in a cage. And then they said, there's just a little bit more. We'll set them free every few years or so, just long enough to procreate before we round them up and bring them back so we can continue to feel safe. And there's more to this here recipe. We will fill their women with heaps of self-hate and bombard them with ads to bleach their skin. We won't have to lift a finger if we keep them in poverty, programming them to self-destruct from within. This is the American dream, a tapestry woven together with the fabric of the white man's construction. But this they never counted on. This their eyes could not fathom. Before there was them, there was Mother Africa, Eve and Adam. And their lessons flow through my veins like rum in the pits of drunken men. And their drum call sounds with every spasm of my beating heart. I am the daughter of them, a Black woman, and I was never built for destruction. I was never meant to teach Black boys how to become Black men. But you have made it your mission to kill each one of them, thus changing my life's course and making me a fierce protector of them. And we have already established you're not much on the education of a Black nation, so I must raise my voice. I was never meant to teach Black boys how to become Black men. But the police have become daily assassins, always itching for a lynching and no longer satisfied with the death rate of Black men in their old systems. I was never meant to be anything more than just a Black woman living life abundantly and free. But you have constantly labeled me angry because I held my tongue, and more so now because I refuse to let Black men die so young. And yet, there is nothing new under the sun. And so history demands that I, a Black woman, rise. George Floyd was never meant to be forever remembered in martyrdom. But the door was open, and with cries for "Mama!" and struggling breaths, he walked in. I was never meant to teach Black boys how to become Black men, but your triumphant shouts of the South rising again have forced my hand. I should not have to legislate the color of my skin to protect Black men. And yet, here I stand. And until this is something we can all agree upon, I promise I will stay with your son. And I will continue on this trajectory, and not just until justice is won, but until we've all been healed from the hurt you caused by taking the life of Emmett Till. Then and only then can we sing, "Let Freedom Ring," and will I consider my mission complete. I was never meant to teach Black boys how to survive long enough to become Black men. Don't you agree? And yes, dear lady, whom I've never met before, there is a price to be paid to be free.
Incredible.
Hey, well, that was kind of heavy.
Yes.
Whew. Poetry is the way a woman snuggles into the swoon of her lover's embrace while she sleeps. It is the darkness that surrounds her, though she be in a room full of people. Poetry is oxygen, sustaining life, a releasing of carbon dioxide, its words flowing free, healing the damage and destruction of all the toxins she's been swallowing. It is the cure to what ails you, minus visits to the doctor, co-pays, and time wasted. Poetry is a road not paved in hate. It is goodness and mercy. It is grace. A table prepared before mine enemies. Poetry is fluid, a never-ending motion. Its depth deeper than any ocean. Poetry can handle all this emotion. It is love. It is anger. It is the green monster, the one-eyed, one-horned purple people eater. Poetry is the ability to believe one-eyed, one-horned purple people eaters do exist. Poetry is this, a sweet blessedness that cannot be taken away, regardless of what people have to say. It is night turning into day, knowing morning won't last always. Dreariness, clouds, tears, and rain will fade, but poetry will remain. It is a safety net as you trapeze across the sky, daring you to explore limits beyond what you can see. Poetry is always asking why and never satisfied with the questions of others. Poetry is a mother rocking you to sleep and encouraging your dreams to become a reality. Poetry is a father. Damn. Maybe that's something we don't always see, but perhaps it's a gift gone way too soon. And with its broad shoulders, we assume it to be strong enough to carry the weight of us and all our worlds. But that's just a presumption, cultivated and crafted from the thoughts of our imaginations. Poetry is whatever you need it to be. It is a prostitute in the streets with whom you can be free. Poetry is Jesus, drawing all men to thee from a hill called Calvary. It is waking up to greet the dawn, unraveling from your covered cocoon. Poetry makes you weak in the knees and will have grown men swoon. Poetry is your baby mama's best friend, cousin on her daddy's side. You know, it spreads you wide open, then turns around and gives you a place to hide. Poetry is addiction. It'll have you fiending for snaps and claps, always taking you back to your first time. Poetry is yours. It is mine. It is ours. So puff, puff, pass the poet's treat. Poetry is not neat. It is messy and unconfined, though sometimes refined like aged wine. Pretend with me for a moment that poetry is sophistication, a justification to everything that you cannot give an explanation. Poetry is home, and all are welcome here. No need to dry your eyes or hide your tears. Poetry is Ohana, and we're all family here, dear. So take the blinders off, and you will see. Poetry is me. Poetry is you. Poetry is all of us. Don't you see that I am poetry? I want to tell you, keep your head up. Tomorrow's another day, and trouble don't last always. But then that wouldn't be any type of encouragement. And as I walked away, there would be no pride or truth held within my sway. I want to tell you that I'm sorry. Sorry for all you've witnessed, all you've had to carry, and those crosses you've been forced to bear. But I am sick of saying I'm sorry. And I am tired of hearing you utter that irritating phrase. You see, I'm sorry is reserved for when you or I have done something wrong, committed a crime or a sin for which we must atone. It is not something we say when we simply nothing else to say. And we have done nothing wrong short of being Black or living where some consider outback. And we've no sin to atone except for walking alone or possibly hovering around like a drone. But, and hear me when I say, your Black is not wrong. Living is not wrong. Standing is not wrong. Walking, sitting, or anything that is viewed as a civil right handed to us through legislation and inherent freedoms is not wrong. I want to encourage you. I want you to know that I love you, my king. I want you to know that I value and support you, my queen. I want to remind you that your Black is not wrong. And if anyone would take the time to look at you, they would see nothing but strength. For make no mistake, you are the very definition of the word strong. And when I look at you, I see kings and queens, descendants of a rich heritage and royalty, more than some made-up Marvel or Wakandian fantasy. There is strength in your hips and legacy resting on your shoulders. And every time there is death, trauma, or massive crime, it is an attempted robbery of the legacy your ancestors left behind. An inheritance that cannot be gutted is hidden in your vine. I want to encourage you. Your Black is not wrong. Now stay away from those colors and live your life to the fullest. Don't allow the red and blue to dictate who they want or think you ought to be, for they are taking your life and your breath just as rapidly as the men and women steeped in hate tried to end, steal, and seal your fate. I want to encourage you. Your Black is not wrong. Don't you be afraid of the men and women in blue. It is their job to serve and protect you. Be dignified, even when holding them to a standard of accountability. Remember, there is perseverance in your masculinity. I want to encourage you. Your Black is not wrong. And it's time now to put down your weapons of mass destruction. Put them down for just a moment to bask in the sun. Let him energize you. Let him encourage you, as I have tried to do. And remember, hold your head up high, walk proudly, and always know that your Black is not wrong. All right, and the last one. Woo! Last one, here we go. Black woman proud. Black girl magic loud. Black woman mother. Black woman Black woman, never envious. Black woman, rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Black woman, don't you frown. Black woman, here is your crown. Black woman, stand tall. Black woman, catch you when you fall. Black woman, do it all. Black woman, with her skin kissed from every crevice of the rainbow, from golden bronze to deep set purple. Black woman, you are beautiful. Black woman will not harm us. Black woman will rebirth us. Black woman, it is because of the Black woman that there is still power in your right elbow. Black woman, not fodder for some TV show. Black woman, CEO. Black woman, business owner. Black woman, judge and lawyer. Black woman, gifted from the Creator. Black woman, Rise, Black woman, wise, Black woman, intelligent, Black woman, book smart, Black woman, street smart. I, Black woman together, Black woman empower, Black woman unite. Black woman, there is no need to fight. Black woman embrace. Black woman walk this earth with poise and grace. Black woman, they cannot erase us, Black woman. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm Special K, and I'm just so appreciative to you all.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Special K.